Alright guys, do you remember that single line from The Last of Us Season 2? I think it pretty much killed this show, actually. Along with a lot of other things, of course. But it was the, I'm gonna be a dad. Yeah, I think it's definitely killed the show. So, Last of Us Season 3, maybe the final season, according to HBO boss. Brilliant. I mean, no, actually, brilliant. Yeah, good. Good, because it's garbage. So funny. It's so funny. You just did this completely to yourself. Now, some people would look at it and go, well, how much more story do they have to tell? I mean, strictly speaking, you could have just kept going with this, right? Like, can just keep going, but they are choosing to bring it to an end, and it looks like they're choosing to bring it to an end abruptly as well. So let's get into this, and then we'll look at the Rotten Tomatoes scores, because that's hilarious. You have not seen a show fall off this bad between seasons. I don't think there's another show that has fell off that drastically between seasons. So, it's hilarious. Now, the writing was on the wall for this, by the way, because of Neil Druckmann leaving, which was always a bit weird, right? Like, he's gone in, he's destroyed the show, right? And then he's like, oh, I'm out, actually. I'm done now. It's like, right, okay. Why? That's odd. Why would you leave? Why would you leave? Odd. Anyway, so Season 2 only covered about half of the second video game. Showrunners Neil Druckmann and Craig Mazin have always been adamant that 2 more seasons would be required. So remember that. They've been adamant that 2 more seasons would be required to adapt the rest of the story in a satisfying manner. And that was before Druckmann decided to step away from the series. And this is what he said at the time. So, like, what a weird comment to make. I've made the difficult decision to step away from my creative involvement in The Last of Us on HBO. With work completed on Season 2, and before any meaningful work starts on Season 3, now is the right time for me to transition my complete focus to Naughty Dog and its future projects, including writing and directing our exciting next game, Intergalactic: The Space Lesbian, along with my responsibilities as studio head and head of creative. Co-creating the show has been a career highlight. It's been an honour to work alongside Craig Mazin to executive produce, direct and write on the last 2 seasons. Now that was weird. It was an odd thing for him to do at the time. Like, why? I mean, the writing was on the wall anyway because it had fell off so drastically between seasons, but it still seemed odd that he left. And I don't think he left off his own accord. I think he was forced to leave. That's how I read it anyway. But basically, HBO boss Casey Bloys has said the following when asked directly if Season 3 would be the last during an interview with Deadline. And just came out and said, certainly seems that way. Okay. But on decisions like that, we will defer to the showrunners, so you can ask them. If the boss of HBO is saying it seems like Season 3 is going to be the last one, probably going to be the last one, isn't it? You killed it. You just killed the show. What did you do? Why? So funny. And so this is what they said of Season 3. We're telling you that next season, 1, there's an epic nature to everything that's about to happen, but this other story is going to be really important coming back to Joel and Ellie and everything we've seen so far. All I can say is we haven't seen the last of Caitlin Dever. Oh, it was Denver and whatever. And we haven't seen the last of Bella Ramsey. Okay, great. And we haven't seen the last of Isabella Merced. And we haven't even seen the last of a lot of people who are currently dead in the story. So, oh, great, good. Excellent. So, here we have Season 1 of The Last of Us on Rotten Tomatoes. Again, you've never seen something fall off as bad as this. It is so bad. So bad. 96% critic score. 86% audience score. And what's really important on here is the quantity of reviews, right? That's important. 10,000 plus. And so then we have this one here, which is season 2, okay? And you can see this here. It's 92% critics, which is still not great. You know, that's not a great... Well, I mean, it's still kind of high. Well, dropped by 4%, so not, you know, not crazy. But we had, what did we have? 488 reviews for critics on season 1. This one only had 270 reviews from critics for season 2. And then what's so staggering about this is you then have 37% on the audience score, but with only 5,000 plus reviews. Now that matters because not only, because that's a metric that not a lot of people actually use to compare stuff. You know, when you're looking at using it as a metric, Rotten Tomatoes is just another tool to gauge interest, right? So if you have, again, season 1, 10 plus thousand audience reviews, and then it comes down to season 2, only 5,000 audience reviews. Not only has it dropped by, what, close to 50%? Right, it's dropped by just shy of 50%. Right, 49%. That's a big drop off. That's a huge drop off, in fact. But it's also, you've lost over half your audience, which we know anyway, because we've seen the actual ratings itself, and they were in the toilet. They were so bad. Yeah, I can believe that they chose to bin this off and end it. It's quite funny that they're like, oh, well, you know, seems that way. Yeah, it's just going to end. Even though they'd been adamant, no, we're going to do 2 more seasons. So, right. Well, what changed then? What changed? Neil Druckmann leaving? Is that a factor? Probably not. Craig Mazin's got, you know, experience doing his own thing on TV. Druckmann wasn't exactly keeping it together, was he? So, yeah, I just thought this was interesting and funny, to be honest. Thought it was worthwhile covering. So, yeah, there you go. They killed it. They absolutely killed The Last of Us. And they only have themselves to blame. You could have kept this going for a while. You could even, if it had done very well and the ratings were off the chart, you know that they would have kept it going. Right? This happens all the time in TV. When the going's good, the going's good. Right? The eating's there for everyone to feast on. So they would have just kept it going. But they've gone like, I should probably end it now. I'm going to be a dad.